Friday night reflections. Something that 10, 15 years ago, I never in a million years would have thought I'd be doing. Those days, I would have been thinking more so about where I was going, who I was hanging out with, and maybe what we were going to do. Now, instead, as I am quite a bit older than I was then, I try to gain perspective. And if anything that I learned this week may help you or help anyone a little bit, I'll consider it a positive. This week was interesting for me in that I kind of learned two things that I think are somewhat connected. And let me share it with you. Earlier this week, I was walking to school with my son in the morning, and he's 5 years old. He has this just way about him. And one thing that I found so interesting was his perspective on the world in some ways. And it really got me thinking. We're walking down the street. It's a beautiful, late May day. Sun's out, birds are chirping. And he's walking, he's looking, and he's kind of doing his own thing. And then all of a sudden I hear, Dad, look. I found a penny. Oh my God, I'm rich. And he was so excited. He found this little penny, and he thinks it's the greatest thing ever. And it really got me thinking. Not that the penny itself was that valuable. We all know it's really not. And I didn't have the heart to explain to him how much a penny was really worth, but he thought he was rich. But the thing that I got out of it was his perspective on the world, something new, something exciting, made his day. Something that more often times than not, we tend to take for granted. Yeah, I know a penny's not really worth much, but maybe the finding of something unexpected, maybe just seeing what's there to be seen in and of itself can be such a gift. Perspective that I think a lot of adults don't really take the time to see what is on the ground in front of them. I know I don't often. Usually I'm trying to rush from one place to another place to another place, trying to get things done, trying to accomplish things. And what pennies am I leaving on the ground that I'm not picking up in the first place? Something that definitely got me thinking. Maybe I do need to slow down a little bit at times, look about my surroundings and see what's there that I can enjoy, that I can take perspective and say, you know what? Even though it's not very valuable, it was a cool experience. It was something that kept me positive. The second thing I learned this week, and I think it's a little bit more important, but I think ties in, is I was working out, I was feeling really good, and all of a sudden, boom, I get a little bit of an injury. I felt something in my left chest muscle, and it happens. All best laid plans can go awry. And I'll be honest, I think part of the reason why I hurt myself was I was letting my ego speak a little too much in my ear when I shouldn't have. And I felt good. I was going, and I saw people who were also working out. They were moving a little quicker than me, and I wanted to not only keep up, I wanted to go for it. I said, you know what? We're going to give it our all. Maybe that wasn't the best perspective. I certainly now look back on it and say, maybe I should have kept my ego in check. I should have done it at my own pace, doing what I could do, not trying to race other people at 38 years old, as ridiculous as that sounds. And it got me thinking about ego and how ego isn't necessarily that loud voice from the stands or, people walking in being arrogant. Sometimes ego is in your own mind saying to you, no, you're not going to be fast enough. You're not good enough. Go harder, go faster, be better. Whatever you're doing, whether it's work, the gym, just everyday life. And really the best way that I think to deal with ego is your perspective, is being able to take those moments and see what's in front of you. Whereas if I would have just simply seen what's in front of me, what I would have realized was while I was warm and while I felt good during the workout, there was no reason for me to try to go 100 miles an hour. I could have very simply done the workout, given excellent effort, but I wasn't racing anyone, even though I thought in my mind at the time I was. And that's a perspective sometimes we have to take. We have to realize that ego is in all of us. Whether you're the most modest, humble person on earth or the most arrogant bastard that's ever walked the earth. I've been both at times, I'll be completely honest. But realize that when you feel that sense coming on, try to keep it in check. Try to make sure that if you are giving it your all, there's a reason outside of just, I want to beat that person or I want to be the fastest for no other reason other than pure ego. Have some perspective, realize, and I hope my Friday night reflection helped you. Have a great day.